£25 million special charter arrangement with the airlines, and that's already brought home over 13,000 people on 63 flights from more than a dozen countries. And we're organising more charter flights in the days ahead from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, New Zealand, Nigeria and Sierra Leone. So at home and abroad, we're meeting the whole range of challenges that coronavirus presents. And if we stick together, and if we stay the course, we will defeat this virus for good. And I think I'll now turn over to Sonic to brief us on the latest military involvement in the effort.
First Secretary, thank you very much. The First Secretary's asked me today to give you an update on what the Armed Forces and Defence as a whole is doing in support of the government's response to the virus. Up front, I would say that our role has been entirely in support of the heroic healthcare workers on the front line. That's both the NHS and social care, with humility very much being our watchword in the way that we give that support. We've done it in a variety of ways. We've supported first and foremost the Ministry of Housing, Community and Local Government and the devolved administrations through the national spine of local regional fora that the First Secretary referred to. And we've had dozens of liaison officers embedded into each of those fora. It's a tried and tested system that's been used many times in the past, whether for delivering military aid to the civil authorities for the foot and mouth or for flooding or for wildfires. It's frequently exercised, and there are very close relationships which give great confidence between all of those who are working on those teams at the lower level. And I think it's important, this, because of course it's that delegated sense at that level which works, because it makes them much more responsive and much more flexible to local demand, whether it's for ambulance drivers or for testing or for whatever else, with decentralisation being so much of the key to the way some of this is done. And the Defence Secretary delegated authorities to this level early in the crisis, which has proved to be extraordinarily successful. We've also been giving support to the Department for Health and Social Care and, of course, the NHS. First and foremost, this has been a logistic task. And I would say that I think in all of my more than 40 years of service, this is the single greatest logistic challenge that I've come across. I'll just give you a scale of the problem. In 25 days since we started working together with the NHS, they've gone from some 240 customers they deliver to normally to nearly 50,000 customers. This has involved creating 260,000 square feet of distribution warehousing. That's nearly 4 football fields worth. And some 38 additional delivery routes per day. That's the equivalent to driving 3 times round the world. That is a major logistic challenge. We've of course been involved in the Nightingales, which the First Secretary referred to, but we've also been involved in planning and what we call command and control, providing additional resilience to hard-pressed staff. And we've got dozens of people embedded both in Skipton House, but also in Victoria House, where the DHSC headquarters is. We're involved in testing, both in terms of playing a role in helping design the system, but also in manning some of the regional test centres, and adopting some innovative approaches, like mobile pop-up centres, which will make it possible to get to the decentralised areas that I described earlier. And a brigade commander we have there, Brigadier Lizzie Faithful Davis, and her team have been very imaginative in the way that they've taken this forward. And of course, we've provided an aviation task force that's been able to support the communities from Scotland down to the Channel Islands, in Northern Ireland and from Wales to the east coast of England. We've been involved in helping the Foreign Office with repatriations and supporting our overseas territories, where we have security advisory teams deployed now in several of them. And of course we've deployed ships, HMS Argus, to do just that. And we've been involved with the Cabinet Office Rapid Response Unit, with our 77 Brigade helping to quash rumours from misinformation, but also to counter disinformation. Between 3,000 and 4,000 of our people have been involved, with around 20,000 available the whole time at high readiness. We probably have at the moment some 73 ongoing tasks, and we've probably completed about 30. What's interesting is it's been very much a whole force, not just of regular military from all the 3 services, but reservists as well. Some 15% of the force has been reservists. It's involved defence civilians, defence contractors, scientists from Porton Down, and something called the Engineer and Logistics Staff Corps, where we bring in people from industry who work inside the military in times of crisis and provide expert support for how we might link into the civilian community to bring forward skills and indeed industrial support. The skills have been about planning, logisticians, medics, engineers, and CIS or IT-based people. And the road has been very much about catalysing, designing, and supporting. And I'll just single out one individual to give you an example of the sort of backgrounds that we're talking about. A young major called Major Eb Mukhtar has been mobilised from the reserve. He's really stepped up to the plate. His daytime job is as a logistics expert who runs Google's transport network across Europe, North Africa and the Middle East. He's been part of the supply team that's been working on how we distribute PPE. He's designed an e-portal in partnership with eBay, which will in due course manage individual customers. And he designed a bulk supply chain for distribution of PPE to all of the NHS regions and trusts. Now, despite all of this, we are still involved, of course, in protecting the country, and there are essential operations that must continue, whether that's defending the homeland with the nuclear deterrent or protecting British and UK airspace more generally, whether it's overseas operations in Afghanistan, the Middle East, Africa and further afield, or whether it's about fielding essential operational capability. And what we do as we do this is to take great care not to endanger the population. All of this is a truly national endeavour. We've even mobilised 99-year-old veterans. And I think everyone would agree that Captain Tom Moore embodies the sense of service and duty ingrained in our armed forces. Our armed forces are drawn from every part of the United Kingdom and much of the Commonwealth. And they take great pride in serving the communities that they are part of. Everyone is experiencing real challenges at the moment. And it makes me feel immensely proud of our collective national effort in pulling together behind those on the front line to combat this unprecedented challenge, which I firmly believe we will defeat together. Thank you.